As we get into the faction formed on support of Viserys first for his decision and naming Rhaenyra Targaryen as heir to the throne of Iron Throne of Swords for the Roman Kingdom. We had already covered the fact that Rhaenyra had her lineage, and upon, as you can see on this particular area, there was quite a connection. Lena, her daughter, had been Daemon's second wife, and they had two daughters together, Rhaenyra and Baela. At the same time, the brother of Lena, Rhaenyra, married Rhaenyra, who had at the time not had a very good relationship because apparently he was into spirited men of his age, and yet they were still able to have three sons, Dracarys, Lucerys, and Joffrey. Of the three boys, and upon getting permission from her uncle, who was married to her, Lena. Though she didn't live long enough to see the wedding take place, she had her two eldest sons married, Lena and Baela. She was also a dragon rider. The Blacks were the faction of House Targaryen and their loyalists who supported the ascent of Rhaenyra Targaryen as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms during the Dance of the Dragons. They were opposed by the Greens. In history, the title derives from a great tournament held in 111 AC at the King's Landing on the 5th anniversary of King Viserys' first marriage to Queen Alicent Hightower, his second wife. At the opening feast, Queen Alicent wore a green gown, whilst Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, Viserys' daughter by his first wife, dressed dramatically in Targaryen red and black. Note was taken, and thereafter it became the custom to refer to the Greens and Blacks when talking about the Queen's party and the party of the princess. Then, we get into the servitude of Rhaenys, the queen who never was. Rhaenys Targaryen, daughter of Aemon, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, known among the small folk youngest queen who ever was the faithful wife, Lord Corlys Valerian of Driftmark. She was a dragon rider, whose dragon was Rhaenys, the Red Queen. Appearance and character. Rhaenys had traditional Targaryen beauty. She was 55 years old during the Dance of the Dragons, and was still as fierce and fearless as she had been at 22. By then, she had a lean, lined face and silver hair streaked with white. Rhaenys wore steel and copper armor, which flashed in the sun. In history and in review for her youth, Princess Rhaenys was the daughter of Jocelyn Baratheon, the daughter of Lord Robar Baratheon of Storm's End, and Prince Aemon Targaryen, the heir of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Rhaenys was the staunchest of friends with her uncle, Jocelyn's brother, Ormond. Rhaenys married Corlys Valerian and had 2 children with him, Lena and Rhaenyra Valerian. Aemon died in 92 AC. Old King Jaehaerys chose his younger brother, Prince Daemon, rather than Rhaenys, Aemon's only child, as his new heir. This, of course, was during the Great Council of 101, where after Balon had passed, that Rhaenys' claim tried to be made, but again, she was surpassed for Viserys the First Targaryen. The Dance of the Dragons. When the Dance of the Dragons began in 29 AC, Princess Rhaenys sat on the White Council of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, daughter of the late King Viserys the First Targaryen. When the Valerian fleet closed off the Gullet, sailing forth from Dragonstone and Driftmark to block all shipping for Blackwater Bay. The Black's plan was for Rhaenys to fly overhead on Melees to keep the Greens from attacking their ships, the Dragons. 9 days after the Lord Snowy dispatched the fleet for help, Rhaenys and Melees appeared above Rook's Rest. Rhaenys attacked the soldiers of Sir Criston Cole during the battle at Rook's Rest. King on the second Targaryen upon Sunfire, and Prince Aemon Targaryen on Vagar appeared in the skies. Criston had sprung a trap, and Rhaenys had snatched the bait. Against Vagar alone, Melees may have won, but she stood little chance against both dragons. They met 1,000 feet above the ground, and all 3 beasts went spinning to the earth. From the ashes, only Vagar rose unharmed. A body believed to be Rhaenys was later found beside the carcass of her dragon, but so blackened no one could be sure it was her. Her husband, Corlys Valerian, was enraged that Rhaenyra had sent Rhaenys instead of going herself, and that Rhaenyra had forbidden her sons Jacaerys and Joffrey from aiding Rhaenys. Now, her dragon was Neil's, the red dragon. And in history, Princess Rhaenys rode Melees during the Dance of the Dragons. She fought against Vagar and Sunfire in the Battle of Rook's Rest. Although not as large as Vagar, against that dragon alone, she might have stood a chance at victory. Melees was killed fighting both dragons. However, her head was later drawn to the city of King's Landing on the Heart, awing the crowd with small talk in the silence. The known dragon riders of Melees was Rhaenys Targaryen. Rhaenyra married her two sons, Jacaerys and Lucerys, to her uncle Daemon's two daughters, Rhaena and Baelys, and hoping that it would give her uncle a better mood to improve his spirits for representing the House of Targaryen as the Lord Protector. And as we all know, that previously was covered, it did not change his attitude one bit. Rhaenyra's dragon was Syrax. In history, Rhaenyra first took Syrax as a mount in 104 AC, when the princess was 7 years old. Syrax was described as a young dragon at the time, and Rhaenyra herself named her Syrax after a Valyrian goddess, strongly implying that Syrax had no previous rider. Syrax laid several clutches of eggs during the reign of Viserys I. Her latest clutch was produced just prior to the Civil War. One of the eggs from the latest clutch was given to Rhaena, Rhaenyra's stepdaughter. Following her difficult stillbirth at the beginning of the war, Rhaenyra recovered enough strength to fly on Syrax, along with her other dragon riders, when they assaulted and captured King's Landing with little opposition. In King's Landing, Syrax was kept within the walls of the keep in a stable in the outer ward that had been emptied of horses and given over for her use. Heavy chains bound her to the ground. The chains were long enough to allow her to move from the stable to the yard, but kept her from flying off riderless. The three other dragons belonging to the Blacks were kept in the dragon pit along with the green fire. Syrax was slain in the aftermath of the storming of the dragon pit. Prince Joffrey had attempted to mount her to ride to the dragon pit, save the other dragons, and perhaps mount his own dragon, Tyrax, there. Dragons are not horses, however, and they will only accept one mount at a time. In mid-flight, Syrax shrugged off Joffrey and fell to his death. Attracted by bloodshed, Syrax continued on to the dragon pit. Archmaester Dane noted that Syrax could have simply stayed high in the air and made runs at the mob with her flames. Instead, she descended upon the ground, killing dozens with tooth and claw. There are numerous and contradicting accounts about specifically how Syrax died, and Gildain does not give them in detail. What is certain is that Syrax eventually died fighting the rider or rioters. Note, in the Dance of the Dragons, a true talent by Maester Muncan writes that Vhagar roasted Sir Byron's swan when he tried to kill her by sneaking up behind his shield so the dragon would see only her reflection, as Serwyn of the Mirror shield did to Urax. However, according to Tyrion Lannister, Grandmaster Muncan's dragon was in fact Syrax. That it was Syrax makes much more sense than Muncan's version, as Sir Byron Swan was the son of a marcher lord, and Storm's End was for Aegon. Vhagar was written by Prince Aemon, Aegon's brother and fellow brother. Archmaester The Ordained History of the Civil War sheds no further light on the matter, as it gives no account of Sir Byron Swan's attempt to slay a dragon. The known dragon riders of Cyrex were Rhaenyra Targaryen, first and only rider. Soon after the death of Rhaenyra's brother Lenore, Rhaenyra and her uncle eventually get married. So therefore, between Princess Rhaenyra, who is now queen, and Prince Daemon, both husband and uncle, they had 3 more children. Aegon the First, I believe it's Viserys. No, Aegon the Second and Viserys the Third. The other one was a stillborn, and it had now formed, and so it was ordered to be burned as a sacrifice. Joffrey had wanted to go into battle first, and Rhaenyra denied this. Uncle and husband to Rhaenyra, Prince Daemon's dragon, was known as Caraxes. In history, Daemon used Caraxes during the War of the Stepstones. At the start of the Dance of the Dragons, Daemon landed Caraxes atop Kingspire Tower during the assault on Harrenhal. Top Caraxes later in the Civil War, Daemon challenged Aemon Targaryen and Vhagar at Harrenhal. All 4 were killed in the ensuing battle above the god's eye. At the end of the fight, Vhagar locked with Caraxes, and they fell into the god's eye. While in freefall, even as Vhagar's claws opened up Caraxes' belly and used her teeth to tear off one of his wing arms, Caraxes locked his teeth onto the larger dragon's throat and tore it out. Vhagar did not survive the force of the fall. Somehow, Caraxes managed to live long enough to pull himself out of the water onto the shore, even though his entrails were falling out and one of his arms had been torn clean off. The dragon soon died in front of the walls of Harrenhal. Known dragon riders of Caraxes was Daemon Targaryen. At this point, for the Council of the Blacks, Queen Rhaenyra had ordered any other dragon riders who supported her on the claim for the Iron Throne for the realm of the kingdoms to have their dragons ready. This, of course, would lead to one who tried to have a dragon ready, and, well, it was just not his day. Jacaerys, her first son, rode the dragon Vermax. In history, before the Dragon Age, when Prince Jacaerys Valerian was young, there were rumors that he was a bastard fathered by Sir Howland Strong instead of his mother, Rhaenyra Targaryen's cousin, Sir Lenore Valerian. The rumors were spread by Queen Alicent Hightower and her followers at court. Those who doubted the paternity of Jacaerys and his brothers also doubted that the dragon eggs the boys had been given would ever hatch, but they were quickly disappointed as each of the eggs soon hatched in turn. The hatching that bonded with Prince Jacaerys was Vermax. Dance of the Dragons. By the time the Dance of the Dragons began, Vermax was big enough to ride. Prince Jacaerys flew north on his back as a messenger for his mother, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, to treat with Lady Jane Eyre, Lord Manderley, and Lord Cregan Stark. The mission was a success. The testimony of Mushroom, the court jester, claims that Vermax laid a clutch of eggs in the depths of the crypts of Winterfell. This tale is most likely false. Prince Jacaerys used Vermax in battle during the battle in the Gulf. There, Vermax attacked the fleet, but he flew too low and went crashing down into the sea. Differing tales are told of how and why the dragon fell. Jacaerys also perished. The known dragon riders of Vermax was Jacaerys Valerian, first and only rider. Lucerys, brother to Jacaerys and Joffrey, were the first three children of Queen Rhaenyra, and the former husband, Lenore Valerian. In history, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen's three eldest sons, each by Lenore Valerian, were Jacaerys, born 114 AC, Lucerys, born 115 AC, and Joffrey, born 117 AC. A rival faction at court who supported his stepmother, Alicent Hightower, and her children spread the accusation that Rhaenyra's three sons were not really Lenore's, that bastards fathered by Harwin's mom. In an effort to confirm that he considered Rhaenyra and her sons the true heirs to the throne, the father king, Deanerys II, decreed that the dragon eggs would be put in the cradle of each of the boys to bond with the dragons that hatched from them. Those who doubted the paternity of Rhaenyra's sons also doubted that the eggs would ever hatch, but they were quickly disappointed as each of the eggs soon hatched in turn. The hatchlings were named Vermax, bonded with Jacaerys, Arax, bonded with Lucerys, and Tyrants, bonded with Joffrey. The exact date each hatched is not known, but the last seems to have hatched by no later than about 120 AC. At the start of the Civil War, Prince Jacaerys flew north with a messenger of Vermax. Arax and his rider were slain by Prince Aemon Targaryen, and Aegon in the skies over shipwrecked Vale. 3 days later, the dragon's head and neck washed up beneath the cliffs below Stark Bend, along with Prince Lucerys' corpse. The known dragon rider of Arax, the Lucerys Valerian, first named Joffrey, who also had his own dragon, was a first and only rider. In history, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen's three eldest sons, each by Lenore Valerian, were Jacaerys, born 114 AC, Lucerys, born 115 AC, and Joffrey, born 117 AC. A rival faction at court, who supported her stepmother, Alicent Hightower, and her children spread the accusation that Rhaenyra's three sons were not really Lenore's, but bastards fathered by Harwin's throne. In an effort to confirm that he considered Rhaenyra and her sons the true heirs to the throne, her father king, Deanerys II, decreed that a dragon's egg would be put in the cradle of each of the boys to bond with the dragons that hatched from them. Those who doubted the paternity of Rhaenyra's sons also doubted that the eggs would ever hatch, and they were quickly disappointed as each of the eggs soon hatched in turn. The hatchlings were named Vermax, bonded with Jacaerys, Arax, bonded with Lucerys, and Tyrax, bonded with Joffrey. The exact date of each hatch is not known, but the last seems to have hatched by no later than about 120 AC. At the start of the Civil War, Prince Jacaerys flew north as a messenger on Vermax. Tyraxes retreated into his lair, roasting every would-be dragon slayer as they rushed after him. His entrance was made impassable by the corpses. A mob entered and attacked Emperor instead. The dragon's shade entangled Tyraxus as he turned and was slain. Non-dragon riders of Tyraxus was Joffrey Doran, first and only rider. And so that concludes this part of the Blacks faction point. The prominent Blacks consisted of different members, council members. For the prominent Blacks, there was the Royal Targaryen members, which consisted of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, who rode Cyrax, Prince Daemon Targaryen, who rode Caraxes, Prince Jacaerys Valerian, who rode Vermax, Prince Lucerys Valerian, who rode Arax, Prince Joffrey Valerian, who rode Tyraxes, Prince Aegon Targaryen, who rode Stormcloud. Let's take a look at Prince Aegon's dragon. In history, Dragon Egg was placed in the cradle of Prince Aegon Targaryen at his birth, into the dragon Stormcloud. At the start of the Civil War, called the Dance of the Dragons, 9-year-old Aegon had yet to mount his young dragon. During the Civil War, it was decided by Prince Jacaerys Valerian that his half-brothers Aegon and Viserys Targaryen should be sent to Pentos to be fostered by the Prince of Pentos for their own safety. In late 129 AC, the young princes boarded the Pentoshi cog, that is, gay abandonment, at Dragonstone. Aegon took Stormcloud with him, and Viserys took his dragon egg. In the Gullet, the cog and her escort ships were captured by warships sailing under the banners of the three daughters. Aegon escaped by flying away on Stormcloud in his first life. Prince Aegon managed to reach Dragonstone, clinging desperately to his dragon's neck. Stormcloud had been terribly wounded as he fled. When he arrived at Dragonstone, stubs of countless arrows were embedded in his belly, and there was a scorpion bolt through his neck. Stormcloud died within the hour, hissing as the hot blood gushed black and smoking from his wounds. After Stormcloud's death, Aegon would never fly again. The known dragon riders of Stormcloud again was Aegon III Targaryen, first and only writer. Then there's Prince Viserys Targaryen, who possessed one dragon. Prince Rhaenys Targaryen. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen rose males. And then there's Lady Rhaenyra Targaryen, who rose dancer. Taking a closer look at Princess Rhaenyra, a dragon dancer, we see in history that she may have hatched from a clutch of eggs produced by sirens. Towards the end of the Civil War, as Dragonstone fell to Aegon II Targaryen, Baela was able to escape from her bedchambers as the door was being smashed down. She managed to reach Moondancer in the stable where the castle dragons were kept. There she loosed her chains and strapped a saddle onto her. As Aegon II flew sunfire over Dragonmont's smoking peak up to meet him, rose Baela on Moondancer. The two dragons fought fiercely in the air. Moondancer is smaller but also more nimble, while Sunfire had been half crippled from his previous fights with Melees and the Grey Ghosts, making it difficult for him to keep up with her maneuvers. Eventually, both fell to the ground, slamming into the hard stone, still fighting. Moondancer's quickness proved of little use against Sunfire's size and weight, and the green dragon soon lay still. King Aegon leaped from the saddle when the dragons were 20 feet from the ground, but Lady Baela stayed with her dragon a long way down. Despite being burned and battered, Baela found the strength to undo Moondancer's saddle and chains and crawl away as her dragon coiled into her death throes. Moondancer was devoured by Sunfire. Nonetheless, Moondancer had succeeded in mortally wounding her opponent, Sunfire, would never fight again, and died 6 months later from the injuries she dealt him. The known dragon rider, the Moondancer, was Baela Targaryen. And of course, Lady Rhaenyra Targaryen possessed one dragon egg, and later 2 more. Now, there is also the Black Council, who consisted of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, Queen of the Andals, the Rhaenyra, and the First Men, Lady of the Seven Kingdoms. Prince Daemon Targaryen, Protector of the Realm. Lord Corlys Velaryon, Lord of the Tides, Master of Gryffindor, and Hand of the Queen. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, Prince Viserys Velaryon, Prince Lucerys Velaryon, Prince Joffrey Velaryon, Lord Bartimaeus Sulpiger, Lord of Claw Island, Lord Staunton of Rest, Lord Gorman Mason, Lord of Stonedance, Lord Bar Emmon of Sharp Point, Lord Darkland of Duskendale, and Grand Maester Gerardus, formerly Nat Maester of Dragonstone. For the time being, though, as we had already previously covered down at an earlier time in House of Targaryen history, only those that are most notable will either have paintings, pictures, or drawings of their faces and poses. Those are the ones that we are going to focus on at this time. Other notable blacks consist of the following, as we had previously covered. Crownlanders, or Lord Staunton, Rook's Rest, Lord Gorman Macy, Lord of Stonehenge, killed by Vermithor, Lord Bar of Sharppoint, Lord Darkland of Duskendale, Lady Meredith Darkland of Duskendale, Lord Stokewood of Stokewood, Lord Rossby of Rossby, House Crab of Claw Point, House Broom of Brown Hollow, House Broom of Dire Death, Sir Robert Quince, Castellan of Dragonstone, Sir Adam of Valeran, formerly Adam of Hull, bonded with Seasmoke, Sir Alan of Darlaran, formerly Alan of Hull, Nettles, bonded with Sheepstealer, Silver Denny's devoured by the candle, Blood, Cheese, Sir Balin Birch, captain of the City Watch, Sir Darth Verlin, captain of the City Watch. Of the Crown Landers, the most notable ones would be, I believe, Sir Adam. Yes, Sir Adam Valeran, formerly known as Adam of Hull, was a legitimized bastard from the Driftmark of Dragon's Sea descent. Like his brother Alan, during the Dance of the Dragons, Adam became a knight and the heir to Driftmark and House Valeran. He was a dragon rider whose dragon was Seasmoke. His appearance and character. Adam was 15 years old at the outbreak of the Dance of the Dragons. He was relentless, determined, glib of tongue, and loyal. In history, for his early life, according to Archmaester Gilding, Adam's origin remains a matter of dispute among historians to this day. His mother, Marilda, claimed he and his brother, Alan, were fathered by Sir Lenore Valeran, a fact that many found remarkable due to Lenore's known sexual preferences for men. The court fool, Mushroom, claimed that they were fathered by Lenore's father, Lord Corlys of Valeran, but kept unacknowledged and far from court in order to not offend Corlys' fiery-tempered wife, Rhaenys Targaryen. Dragon Rider. When Prince Jacaerys Valeran decided that the Blacks needed more dragon riders during the Dance of the Dragons, many men who put on Dragonstone came forward to answer the prince's call. One of them, Adam of Hull, managed to bond the Seasmoke. When his younger brother Alan tried to tame Sheepstealer, the dragon set fire to his cloak. Seasmoke drove off Sheepstealer as Adam used his own cloak to beat out the flames. Not long after Adam had proven himself by flying Seasmoke, Lord Corlys Valeran petitioned Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen to remove the taint of bastardy from Adam and Alan. The Queen complied and legitimized the brothers. Adam of Hull, Dragon Seed, and Bastard became Adam Valeran and Corlys heir to Driftmark. When King's Landing fell to Rhaenyra, her dragon riders made their descent one by one. Once Prince Daemon Targaryen was certain there would be no harm, he signaled to his wife to descend upon Syrax. Adam remained aloft, flying Seasmoke around the city walls. The beat of his dragon's flying leathered wings, a caution to those below that any compliance would be met with fire. Once it was decided that Queen Rhaenyra would remain in Kingsland, Adam Valerian remained with Cecil and Prince Joffrey of Valerian. Syrax, Seasmoke, and Tyraxes were expected to suffice for the defense of the city, and the rest of the Dragon Riders went to battle apart from Syrax. Seasmoke and the other dragons were kept in the Dragon Pit. It had long been the custom for at least one Dragon Rider to reside in the pit, so as to be able to defend the city should it come under attack. As the Queen preferred to keep her dragon by her side, that did Lauren. So, the next most notable person of the council is Neville. So, Neville now doesn't come in until somebody else tries to answer the call to the Dragon Rider. Unfortunately, the house is no silver. He tried to bond with Sheepstealer. It is said that Sheepstealer had ripped off his arm, and great was the bloodshed that was flowing as he starts trying to give him pain to stop the bleeding. Unfortunately, while he invoked chaos, the other dragon that had never been broken or ridden came down and not only finished off the I believe his name is Silver Stinnings, right? The House Silver anyway. He got finished off, and then, of course, the other dragon decided to eat the two sons as well. So, I guess you could say in general, it just was not a very good day for so they wanted to bond with Sheepstealer. So, and that's where Nettles comes in. Nettles, also known as Nettie, was a dragon seed, and the first and possibly last Dragon Rider of the Dragon Sheepstealer. Her appearance and character. Nettie was a small brown-skinned girl with black hair and brown eyes. She was skinny, foul-mouthed, filthy, and careless. She was 16 years old at the start of the Dance of the Dragons. In history, during the Civil War, when it was decided by Prince Jacaerys Valerian that blacks needed more Dragon Riders, several dragon seeds on Dragonstone came forward to answer the prince's call. Nettles was able to tame the wild dragon Sheepstealer that bring in a freshly slaughtered sheep each morning, allowing Sheepstealer to become accustomed to the girl. She fought valiantly in the battle in the Gullen. While searching the Riverlands for Prince Daemon Targaryen took Nettles for a midnight and made their base in Maidenfold. And Maester Norrin informed them that Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, Daemon's wife, had declared her a traitor. Daemon had allowed her to escape. Nettles was last seen flying Sheepstealer into the morning mist of the Bay of Crabs. Some maesters believe that the burned men originated from members of the Painted Dogs who worshipped a fire witch and her dragon in the mountains of the moon, following the dance. The rest of the notable blacks consisted of Northmen. The Northmen were Lord Cragen Stark, Lord of Winterfell, and Warden of the North. Lord Roderick Dustin, known as Rhodey the Ruined, Lord of Morrowtown, leader of the Winter Wolves, Lord Manderley of White Harbor, Sir Edric Manderley, Sir Torrin Manderley. Then there are those Rivermen, Lord Kermit Tully, Lord of River Run, Sir Elmo Tully, Lord of River Run, Lord Wallace Luton, Lord of Maiden, Lord Daring of Daring, Lord Force Grey, Lord of the Crossing, Lord Benjicon Blackblood, Lord of Raventree, Lady Alisand Blackblood, Lord John Carl, Lord Piper, Lord Deadings, Lord Parent, Lord Chambers, Lord Bigglestone, Sir Gerald Grey, Sir Pate of Longleaf, the Lion Slayer, Red Rob Rivers, the Bowman of Raventree, and Billy Burley. With the notable ones for the Rivermen, we come to the following people: Sir William Targaryen, Honorable Servitude. The first notable persons for this great council of the notable blacks for Northmen and the Northmen, Rivermen, mainly the Rivermen. There's one that was called Blood the Butcher. Blood is the alias of a butcher who, during the Dance of the Dragons, slew 6-year-old Prince Jaehaerys, King Aegon II Targaryen's firstborn son, and the heir to the Iron Throne. Blood's true name is lost to history. Appearance and character. Blood was a big, brutal, hulking swordsman, and most likely a rapist. History. Blood was an surgeon in the City Watch. He lost his gold cloak for beating a whore to death whilst in a drunken rage. He spent time in Flea Bottom. After the death of Prince Lucerys Valerian, Blood, along with Cheese, was employed by Mysaria, Prince Daemon Targaryen's spy master, to slay one of Aegon II Targaryen's sons. Once Blood and Cheese confronted Queen Helaena Targaryen in the Tower of the Hand, they told her to name which son she wanted them to kill. Helaena offered herself, but they refused, stating it had to be a son. Although Helaena eventually named her youngest son Rhaenyra. After Cheese threatened that Blood would rape her daughter Jaehaera if she did not choose one now, they killed Jaehaerys instead. It was Blood who slew Jaehaerys, striking the boy's head off with a single blow. After killing Jaehaerys, Blood and Cheese did no further harm to Helaena or her surviving children, and fled with the prince's head in hand. The quote is, "It has to be a boy." Blood to Helaena Targaryen. Cheese, the rat catcher. Blood is the alias of a butcher who, during the Dance of the Dragons, slew 6-year-old Prince Jaehaerys, King Aegon II Targaryen's firstborn son, and the heir to the Iron Throne. Blood's true name is lost to history. Appearance and character. Cheese is the alias of a rat catcher who, during the Dance of the Dragons, helped murder 6-year-old Prince Jaehaerys, King Aegon II Targaryen's firstborn son, and the heir to the Iron Throne. Cheese's true name is lost to history as well. Cheese was a rat catcher in the Red Keep, the hidden doors and secret tunnels that Maegor the First Targaryen had built were as familiar to Cheese as the rats that he hunted. However, Even Cheese knew of no way in and out of Maegor's holdfast, except over the drawbridge that spanned the dry moat and its formidable iron spikes. Cheese spent time at the bottom. In history, after the death of Prince Usery's land, Cheese, along with Blood, was employed by Mysaria, Prince Daemon Targaryen's spymaster, to slay one of Aegon II Targaryen's sons. Using a forgotten passageway in the Red Keep, Cheese led Blood into the heart of the castle unseen by any guard. The two men crept up through the walls and slipped into Queen Alicent Hightower's chambers. Once inside, Cheese bound and gagged the Dowager Queen, whilst Blood strangled her bedmate. Then they waited for Queen Helaena Targaryen and her children to arrive. Once Blood and Cheese confronted Helaena in the Tower of the Hand, they told her to name which son she wanted them to kill. Helaena offered herself, but they refused, stating it had to be a son. Although Helaena eventually named her youngest son Rhaenyra, after Cheese threatened her that Blood would rape her daughter, Jaehaera, if she did not choose one. They killed Jaehaerys instead. It was Blood who slew Jaehaerys, striking the boy's head off with a single blow. After killing the prince, Blood and Cheese did no further harm to Helaena or her surviving children and fled the princes with the prince's head in hand. Quote, which one you want to lose, your grace? Cheese to Helaena Targaryen. Garth the Harelip. Garth the Harelip was a captain of the City Watch of King's Landing during the Civil War known as the Dance of the Dragons. He commanded the Dragon Gate. In history, during the risk riots of King's Landing, Sir Garth led his men against the rioters and managed to restore some semblance of order to the streets north and east of Rhaenys Hill. Elmo Tully. Sir Elmo Tully was a knight of House Tully, who became Lord of Riverrun and head of House Tully after the death of his grandfather, Lord Grover Tully. In history, Lord Grover Tully wanted to support King Aegon II Targaryen and the Greens during the deaths of the dragons, but he was too aged, and his grandson, Sir Elmo, kept on telling banners at Riverrun. Supporting Aegon's rival, Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, Elmo led river lords at the Second Battle of Templeton. Grover passed away soon after the battle, with Elmo succeeding his grandfather as Lord of Riverrun. Elmo died while marching with the Blacks 49 days later. However, he was succeeded by his son, Sir Cummin Tully. House Derry. House Derry of Derry is a notable house from Castle Derry in the Riverlands. Historically, it had been one of the more prominent and powerful houses of the Triton until the fall of the Targaryens and Robert's Rebellion. Their blazon is a black plowman on brown. The central building, where the Derrys have their apartments, is called the Plowman's Keep. Their words do not appear in the books. In history, first men and Andals. House Derry traces their rule to the days when the Andals cast down the first men. During the Andal invasion, 3 sons of Lord Derry held back the Andals of Lorien Wyvern at the Widow's Ford before being slain. Lord Derry died fighting in King Arlen III Durrandon's campaign, which included the Battle of 6 Kings. Targaryen era. During the Dance of the Dragons, Prince Aemon Targaryen had his dragon, Vhagar, burn Castle Derry and the surrounding fields. Lady Derry and her younger children survived below the keep, but Lord Derry and his heir were killed on the battlements. It is said that Lord Boros Baratheon slew another Lord Derry during the Battle of the King's Road. The Derrys were Targaryen loyalists, supporting King Daemon II Targaryen over the Daemon First Blackfyre in the First Blackfyre Rebellion. Lord Derry destroyed the Black Dragon, sign of the Clanking Dragon, as he saw in the sigil of House Blackfyre. Sir Duncan the Tall identified the arms of House Derry among the gathered heraldry of the tourney at Ashford Meadow. The Demon of Derry became Lord Commander of the King's Guard. The song of Lord Darriman at the Bloody Meadow may be about a Lord of Derry. Blind Norbert Vance squired together with Brendan Tully for the Lord Derry of their time. During the reign of King Aerys II Targaryen, Sir William Derry was master at arms of the Red Keep. When Prince Rhaegar Targaryen decided that he wanted to be a warrior, he asked William to provide him sword and armor. Sir Jonathor Derry was a member of Aerys II's King Guard. Robert's Rebellion. During Robert's Rebellion, the Derrys defended King Aerys against Lord Robert Baratheon and their liege lord Hoster Tully until the bitter end. After the Battle of the Bells, Sir Jonathor Derry and Sir Barristan Selmy were sent to Stony Sap to rally the remnants of Lord John Cunnington's defeated army to prepare them for the Trident. The current Lord, Sir Raymond Derry, lost his three older brothers at the Battle of the Trident. William Derry and 4 loyal men smuggled Aerys' surviving children, Viserys and Daenerys Targaryen, to Braavos before Stannis Baratheon's assault on Dragonstone. The defeat of the Targaryens cost the Derrys half of their lands, most of their wealth, and almost all their power. Forrest Frey. Forrest Frey was a lord of the Crossing and a head of House Frey during the Dance of the Dragons. In history, the gallant and powerful knight Forrest had once been a suitor to Prince Rhaenyra Targaryen's hand. He instead married Sabitha Vibrant. Lord Forrest sided with the Blacks during the Dance of the Dragons. He brought 200 knights and 600 infantrymen when he joined Lord Roderick Dustin and Rob Rivers by the God's Eye. Forrest died fighting the Green's army from the Westerlands in the battle by the lakeshore. Alysanne Blackwood. Alysanne Blackwood, known as Black Ally, was a member of House Blackwood who became Lady of Winterfell. In history, during the Civil War known as the Dance of the Dragons, the Blackwoods sided with the Blacks, the faction loyal to Rhaenyra Targaryen. Black Ally, the aunt of Lord Medjicott Blackwood, commanded archers of the Riverlands during the Battle of the King's Road. After Lord Medjicott broke the flank of Lord Boros Baratheon's royalist Greens, Black Ally's archers slew the royalist knights. The lads then advanced on King's Landing. During the Hour of the Wolf, Lord Creekenstark of Winterfell briefly served as hand of the king to the newly crowned Aegon III Targaryen, and dispensed justice after the murder of King Aegon II Targaryen, who had refused to surrender to the Black Army. Black Alley agreed to marry Cregan in exchange for allowing Aegon III's pardon of Lord Corlys Velaryon to stand. Alysanne gave Cregan 4 daughters, Sarah, Alice, Rhea, and Mariah Stark. And then we go back to Adam Velaryon. This now reflects to the second battle of Tumbleton. After the treachery of the 2 betrayers in the first battle of Tumbleton, many voices in the Black Council questioned Adam's loyalty. Only Lord Corlys, the Hand of the Queen, spoke in defense of the Dragon Seed, marking that Adam and Alan were true Velaryons and worthy of Griffmark. The Hand's impassioned protests were in vain, and Queen Rhaenyra, suspecting a tongue cloak, commanded Sir Luther Largen to arrest Adam in the Dragon Pit. Adam, who had been forewarned, managed to make his escape flying away with sea smoke, fleeing before he could be put to the question. While ordering the arrest of Adam, the Queen lost not only a dragon, but her hand as well. Corlys was beaten and imprisoned for warning Adam. As the second battle of Tumbleton was put into motion, Adam was determined to prove that all bastards need not be turncoats. The singers say that Adam flew from King's Landing to the God's Eye, where he landed on the sacred Isle of Basin and took counsel with the Green Men. Known fact says that he flew far and fast, ascending on castles great and small, whose lords were loyal to the Queen, to piece together an army. By the time Adam was ready to descend on Tumbleton, he had almost 4,000 men at his back. Sir Adam attacked Tumbleton at night, taking the Greens completely unawares. As chaos ensued, Adam could see the battle turning into a rout below him. By this time, 2 of the enemy dragon riders, Huff, Hammer, and Prince Darren, the Daring, were dead. Although Adam could not have known that, he could see the dragons Vermithor, Silverwing, and Tessarion. The riderless Tessarion took flight, and Adam turned his dragon, Seasmoke, to meet her. Both being young dragons, they moved fast and nimbly as they fought. The fight ended when the riderless, enraged Vermithor rose into the sky and set about indiscriminately killing those on the ground. As Vermithor wreaked carnage, Seasmoke fell upon him, driving him shrieking into the mud. According to Archmaester Gilbane, Adam must have felt duty-bound to protect his men on the ground, though surely he knew in his heart Seasmoke could not match the older dragon. The riderless Tessarion soon joined the fray, and all 3 dragons fought to the death on the ground amidst mud and blood and smoke. After the battle, Lord Unwin Peak vowed to defeat and ordered a retreat, taking the remnants of the great host that Prince Darren and Lord Ormond Hightower had led from Old Town. Adam, the accused turncoat, had saved King's Landing from Rhaenyra's foes at the cost of his own life. Adam's legacy in 138 AC. The bones of Adam were returned to Griffmark from Raventree Hall. His brother Alan, by them Lord of the Time, put only the word loyal as epitaph on Adam's tomb. And finally, for the remainder of the other notable plaques, we have another reach, which consisted of Lord Lyman Eastbury, Lord of Honeycomb and Master of Coin, Lord Thaddeus Rowan, Lord of Golden Grove, Lord Alan Tarley, Lord of Cornhill, Lord Owen Custane, Lord of Three Towers, Lord Mullendor of Uplands, Lord Grim of Grayshield, Lord Footley of Templeton, Tom Flowers, Bastard of Bitterbridge, Sir Alan Beesbury. For the Valemen, we have Lady Jane Arryn, Maiden of the Vale, Sir William Royce, Lord Laurel of Sweet Sister, Lord Sunderland of the Three Sisters, and of course Black Crombo, who is a foreigner represented by Karstark, because of the fact that he has not been in direct kingdom. So that is the entire council for the Blacks. As soon as William was done reading about the faction of the Blacks for the House of Targaryen at Dragonstone, Daenerys then decided it was a good time to take a break. William, let's take a break right now, and we can discuss after you review the Greens. Who do you think was on the right and who was in the wrong? All right. Yeah, I could do some stretching my legs. Oh, I think I sat in your chair too long. William starts rubbing his behind. He does kind of a slight smile about this. Well, then you agree we should take a break. Yes, a little bit stiff. So they head out past the staircase with a flag to this other library and out to the palace courtyard.